All right, everybody, welcome in another Schmolke Investment Team LSU football practice report. Mike Scarborough of TigerBait, my sidekick buddy Sanji, and it was a really good morning, day before first day of full pads, and a little chippy out there, a little chirpy, a lot of talk, a lot of pushing and shoving, and I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I don't know if they fed them Manda hot sausage for breakfast this morning, but it was getting spicy. I'm talking and back and forth. You can tell they're getting a little chippy, a little spicy. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It really starts for real tomorrow. Full pads come on. We asked Coach about scrimmages and full pads. It's a big day tomorrow. But, folks, we got a lot of tidbits for you. And, as always, we got to start off by saying in the last couple of days, Nuss has probably been under duress and pressure at least 50% of the time. And so you can freak out about the offensive line, or you can just be calm and hope that they get it done. But the defensive line has a lot more speed, a lot more aggressiveness. Bernard Gooden has been held to block. Harold Perkins is unbelievable. Jack Pyburn's playing inside and outside. Dominic McKinley getting some reps. Ahmad Bro, and obviously Tank Gilroy in the mix. And then you talk about Peyton, Gabriel Rilliford, all of the linebackers, and then the DBs. And so it's a work in progress, but I think they're going to get better. But Mike, going against that D-line is going to make that offensive line grow up very quickly.
Yep, and I thought Garrett Nussmeier did a very good job of stepping up amongst the pressure. Had one interception today. Harold Perkins picked that one off, which is a good sign. We've been talking all spring and summer about LSU needs to improve themselves, be in the upper third, maybe upper quarter in the takeaway column this year. Didn't fare so well in that category last year. And by the way, while we were in practice, the coaches poll came out. LSU's number 9. So is that about where you thought? Let us know down in the comments. I think that's probably on the low end of where we thought. You thought maybe 7, 8?
7, 8, or 9, and Clemson 4, 5, or 6. Clemson came in at 6. AP is usually a little higher, so they could be 8, and Clemson could be 5. But, yeah, good stuff, Mike. I thought Nuss was coming in here. I just wanted people to understand, more than likely, at the start of the Clemson game, when they bring pressure, he's going to be playing and throwing the football under duress. Oh, by the way, speaking of throwing it, man, Nick Anderson, I am seeing now more and more why everybody said this was one of the best transfer portal pickups. He is catching it like Trey'Dez Green. He's not as big as Trey'Dez, but Trey'Dez is a tight end, of course, a hybrid tight end. Nick Anderson, Destin Hill.
Destin Hill was my guy today.
And Barry Brown. 2, 4, and 6, folks, they're going to have to play a lot. Now, just to verify, Aaron Anderson was a little knee. They're cleaning up some stuff. They'll get him back in a couple days. Of course, Xavier Thomas and Chris Hilton making a lot of catches. I still hadn't seen Chris Hilton.
Chris Hilton had a beauty today.
I hadn't.
Over the shoulder. It's probably about a 25-yarder maybe.
I hadn't seen him. And Nuss threw it in the bucket. Beautiful pass. I hadn't seen Hilton drop a ball. So, and then don't forget about Kyle Parker. That right there is 7 really, really good ones. Of course, one of the things that we think, Mike, when you love Bauer Sharp, and the reason he's going to probably play on every down is that if you do have problems protecting, you bring a tight end, he chips that defensive end. You got to have a running back that's got a chip. And speaking of running back, Mike called it last week. I'm on board. Caden Durham over 1,000 yards rushing if he stays healthy, and if O-line can get him some holes to run through.
Yeah, he was asked about Juwan Johnson today. A guy like Juwan Johnson, who's such an exceptional athlete, it's so hard to get him involved when you've got this embarrassment of riches at every offensive position. We're talking about Barry Brown, Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, Nick Anderson, and then you've got Kyle Parker, who we hardly ever seem to talk about, Xavier Thomas, who's catching every ball thrown his way, the plethora of tight ends with Bauer Sharp, who I've been oohing and ahhing about since the spring. And I'm watching Destin Hill today, and I'm just like,
dude.
And they were having some fun, him and Ashton Stamps going at each other. You know, those two have known each other for years, both from New Orleans. But, man, if they stay healthy, and look, Chris Hilton had one earlier today. Right when we got out there, they did some 7-on-7 to start. Then they went full units. He had one he could have laid out for, but I'm glad he didn't lay out for it. There's no need to lay out for a ball that was deep. But had he laid out for it, I think he would have caught it. I'm not seeing where he's dropping anything.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, he's a totally different guy. And so now, having said all that and talking so glowingly about all these guys, I still think there's a struggle at the number 2 and the number 3 quarterback spot. I'm still waiting to have a Van Buren a wow moment. Hurley has some passes that look good, and then he has 2 or 3 in a row that aren't. That's still a worry for me. Now, certainly when Van Buren takes off and runs, you get excited. But both those guys, I think, really got a ways to go as far as being consistent throwing the ball.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Nuss has got to stay healthy, folks. You're going to be drinking quite a few libations during the football season if Nuss gets hurt. They do not have a bona fide backup that could come in and lead this team to a playoff situation. Of course, everybody's talking playoffs. Real quick on the offensive line, Braylon Moore looks like he solidified himself at center. DJ Chester at left guard, and of course Tyree Adams at left tackle. On the right side, Josh Thompson, I think he's getting better. I watched him a little bit better today with blocking, and of course Weston Davis. But you got to have backups because you know people are going to get hurt. Paul Mubinga is now working at guard and as the backup center. Carius Kearns lost weight, but he still needs to get up to snuff. And then of course on the right side, Cohen Eccles and Bo Bordelon, and also they've got the numbers. They haven't gelled yet. Interesting to see. Oh, by the way, asking about scrimmages, and what they try to do, Mike, is simulate what they're going to be going through in the fall. So they will have the next couple, 3 Saturdays with scrimmages, and generally speaking, they do them at the same time that they're going to be playing games. Now, we don't know about availability on all of that, but once again, I thought pretty happy with the practice. But man, Bernard Gooden looks like he shot out of a cannon. A.J. Halsey, they're making him work to win. He's the best safety on the team, and still a battle. Jakeem Jackson, obviously Pickett, P.J., and of course Mansour Delane and Ashton Stamps. Those are your 5 corners. So a lot of battles going on right now.
I'll tell you what else I
like. Too deep.
I tell you what else I like to see. I like to see Harlan Berry take one over the middle and get hit very hard and double up and hold on to that football. And like I always say, don't give Frank Wilson a reason to not play you. There you go. Of course, we're brought to you each and every week by the Schmolke Investment Team. Please hit that like button. We thank Bart and Brian Schmolke over at the Schmolke Investment Team. They've been sponsoring these practice reports every spring and fall for years, and really give them a chance to earn your business. So are you ready to take control of your financial future? Time is running out. With market fluctuations and economic uncertainty, now's the moment to act. Don't let another day pass without a solid financial plan in place. At the Schmolke Investment Team, their experienced financial advisors are there to help you navigate these challenging times. From retirement planning to investment strategies, they provide personalized strategies tailored to your needs. Don't wait till it's too late. Give them a call at 318-448-3201 or visit www.smolketeam.com or go by their office at 128 Versailles Boulevard in Alexandria. Your financial future depends on the decisions you make now. Security and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA/SIPC. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. By the way, we weren't allowed to film any of the practice session, so there's going to be no practice footage from today. We were allowed to watch, I guess maybe a half or 2/3 of it, and report on it, but we weren't allowed to film anything. So I'm imagining that's going to change tomorrow. We don't know what our full schedule is for tomorrow, and then we're going to get players again later in the week. But it's they're about to have a big week of practices because full pads are going on tomorrow. Yeah,
that's kind of what we talk about. You separate the men from the boys. Look, it's going to be interesting out there. We were in the shade today. They're out there. It's hot again, and so they're getting acclimated. Now they're starting to kick it up. This will start to be some of the grunt work that you have to do. And look, just be cognizant of if a guy doesn't practice, whether it's Whit Weeks or Aaron Anderson or whatever, they're being smart about this. They know what Whit Weeks can do. They know what Aaron Anderson can do. They're going to make sure that because of the depth, Mike, I've never seen them have so many guys coming in at the line of scrimmage, specifically defensively. Said it last time, Blake Baker's got to be very excited. Halsey to Marcus Cooley. Deshaun Spears, have you seen 10 step up?
Yes.
You like what he's doing?
Today. I noticed him a little bit. There was one or two flashes early on.
Toviano, Jordan Gilbert. So you got 5 or 6 guys at a lot of different places for safeties and corners, and we all know that Blake Baker's going to get after people, but got a little chippy, and you don't want that. I've seen out here many years. I've seen it with Todd McClure and Kevin Mawai and all of that, and they get in these fights, and yet if you actually hit somebody with your fist on a helmet and you break your wrist, it's not worth. But then again, when heat and all that, and they're talking to each other, smack talking, you're going to have some of that. So you might have the first Donnybrook and pushing and shoving tomorrow, but they're getting ready and hoping that you Tiger fans are going to be happy. Some grunt work coming up here the next 10 days, and then they'll start paring down and getting ready for Clemson.
I'm not worried about DBs and wide receivers going at each other, but when Bernard Gooden's getting those offensive line a little testy because he's giving them fits.
Yeah.
I watched BK go over there and have a talking to him. That was interesting. I wish we would have had some of that stuff. We would have been able to film it. Some really good stuff today. But that shows you that it's getting time, and they know it's the pads are coming on, and they've been going at each other now for almost a week's worth, and that's only going to get more and more as these weeks go by. They're going to get a little bit tired of going against each other.
Hey, want to add the running game. Everybody knows that you want to be balanced. You got to look. LSU threw it for 400 yards. 4,000 yards for the season. But Caden Durham looks like he is ready to go. And BK went out of his way to compliment Caleb Jackson. How many times do we tell you, young man number 28, run to daylight, not darkness? If you see this guy get inside the second and third level of Clemson, he is literally going to run over people. You still got to get him in space. Glad to see he's coming along. And now you talk about running backs, Caden Durham, Caleb Jackson, Harlan Berry is going to be a specialist the first part of the season, and then Juwan Johnson, you're liable to have a couple plays with him. LSU fine there. The big question that all of us in the media are waiting for, kind of like a couple years ago, we talked about the DBs getting torched. We're going to see if the O-line can start to hold their own a little bit, but that is a massive, aggressive, and fast front that they are blocking, and I like it. They're sending blitzes, they're sending corners and safeties, and so they're getting them up ready because guess what? Clemson's going to send the kitchen sink. You better get rid of it under 2.5 seconds, or you're going to have some sacks.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this practice report, please hit the like button. Do us a favor. We're putting it both on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Share it to your Facebook feed. Text it out to your fellow LSU buddies. Let them know we're putting these out each and every week. We thanks to all of you leaving us comments, and we got a lot more coming your way on TigerBait.com. That's LSU Tigers on TigerBait on YouTube, as well as our Facebook channel.
4 pads, folks. Get that pad level down. Wrap up tackling. I made mention this, and I'm hoping that it becomes like clockwork. LSU's got to take the football away more on defense. 6 INTs, 8 fumble recoveries, 14 takeaways. They turned it over 17. Got to be plus 10 or plus 15. But full pass tomorrow. Mike's going to be out there hitting with some of these guys.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
See you tomorrow, everybody.
All right, thanks for tuning in. See y'all next time.